when the person first rolled up onto the windshield, it was really surreal. It's like time slowed down for a little bit, and I didn't really know what to think or feel because I was kind of in a state of disbelief and shock. And then it sunk in, oh my goodness, we just hit a person.
But I cracked the back of my skull, I got a maximum concussion, and I almost broke everything on the left side.
I hope they're okay. I hope everything's fine. I hope that they're not seriously injured.
Hearing that the person you're more or less in love with has been hit by a car sucks. There's really no other way to go about it than to be hysterical.
During the fall of 2010, the police department here at Grand Valley State responded and aided and assisted in 4 different separate crashes. One of those crashes occurred off the campus. We aided and assisted the Ottawa Sheriff's Office.
We got into my friend's car and we were driving in front of Kirchhoff, and then it was kind of dark and rainy and kind of low visibility out, and then all of a sudden I see this body hitting the windshield in front of me and rolling over the car, and then we get out of the car and it's pretty cold, and the person is just laying there in the street, and I didn't know for quite a while how badly hurt they were.
I got out of class at about 4:15. I rode past Kirchhoff and I was going down the hill. There were people walking from the opposite side of the street, and there was no people directing traffic. So I kept going, it looked good, and I went up to it, and I got halfway through. I looked to my right and I see a big grill of a car, and I got hit. I went flying about 10, 15 feet and then knocked unconscious. And I couldn't move, I couldn't see, couldn't do anything, but I could hear and feel everything.
I'm Minna Woodward. I am the girlfriend of Zachary Samples, who got hit by a car while riding his bike. I found out about the accident about half an hour after it happened. I was texting him until like 11:50, and then I was supposed to meet him for lunch at the Connection, and when he didn't show up in half an hour, I kind of panicked and I called him incessantly, like over and over. And then finally I got a call back, but it was the police, and they asked me who I was, and then he's like, this is Officer so-and-so. Zachary's been hit by a car.
I feel safe using the crosswalks only because I stop and actually watch out for cars.
I think I feel pretty safe, mostly when there are people working at the crosswalk. Sometimes when they're not, it gets a little bit crazy.
Like a scale of 1 to 10, about like a 5.5, 6.
I have not heard about the recent car accidents, but I'm sure they're here.
I've heard about them really, really vaguely, like just word of mouth. I haven't read about them or anything.
Yeah, I actually saw one of them not happen, but I saw the person right afterwards, and it was really scary, and I definitely made me want to be more cautious when walking.
Not at all. Like, no.
I think they pay more attention when there is a crosswalk or a person working at the crosswalk, but sometimes I don't think they do.
But I feel like the actual students are less aware and don't watch out as much.
I feel that most people pay attention to the students when they cross. But now and then there's people that, when they're messing around in their cars with their radios and whatnot, it happens.
I go to the connection to get a sandwich. In the crosswalk, I hear this car moving toward me, and I turn to look at it, and I have just enough time to watch it crash into my leg. And so as I'm feeling this strange, sandy, grainy sensation in my leg, I fall forward onto the windshield and shatter it into 100 pieces. And then as she hits the brakes, I fall backward off the car onto the ground, and I think, oh my god, what just happened to my leg? So I try moving it, and it's like the most painful thing I've ever experienced. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't do that again. And it's still taking me out of school for 3 months. It's still keeping me out of being able to sit in chairs because I can't bend my knee enough. It's keeping me from being able to use a toilet. It's keeping me from going upstairs to shower. So to learn to walk again will take some time. So hopefully I'll be able to return for the summer semester. But at the same time, we don't know if my recovery will be well enough that I'll be able to walk around campus everywhere.
From what we know, he was riding his bike out to come meet me, and it was raining that morning, and he had his hood up, and a car on the right side of him stopped to let another pedestrian go in front of them, and he went behind that car, and the girl that hit him didn't see him and just hit him. Zachary had a lot of injuries. He had anywhere from 6 to 4 broken ribs, punctured lung, fractured pelvis. He had to get his heel sewn back together, and he had a traumatic brain injury. Yeah, I was heartbroken. They let me see him the day that he got hit. After he got out of surgery, they had to remove a piece of his skull so that his brain could swell freely and have somewhere to go. And they got him out of surgery from fixing all of the broken bits and pieces of him, and I was allowed to go in and see him, and really nothing else mattered. I didn't care who else was there. I just kind of went over to him and held his hand and told him I loved him.
A lot of times, at least on Grand Valley's campus, I feel like there's this attitude of the pedestrians who think that they can just walk across the road and, oh, traffic will stop, it'll be fine. But you're a pedestrian, the car is much larger than you, and you have to be wary and understand that, you know, road conditions might make it difficult to stop, and you have to be alert and cautious before you just walk out into the street.
There's probably a couple things that we could do to prevent accidents. One of the best was probably put stop signs instead of yield to pedestrian signs.
To prevent future accidents, I think that people should pay more attention. They need to be more aware and not put so much faith in other people.
Whenever someone is multitasking while they're driving, like texting or whatever, it's generally to save themselves from being inconvenienced, but it's so much more inconvenient for the person on your windshield when you think about it.
I think there have been too many car accidents because of technology, people texting when they drive, texting when they walk across the road, and like I said, just too much faith in other people.
These are one of the challenges that we have here on the campus. Students need to be alert. They need to be aware. They need to stop. They need to look before they go into the crosswalks. They have an expectation that the vehicle is going to stop for them. And while that very well may be the case, sometimes that vehicle may not. And that being the case, it can have some dire consequences.